gosh. Anyway, I am getting out of normal shoes into sand shoes, and we're going to go for a walk on the beach. Are you going to come with me? I mean, you can join me. Wouldn't that be random if someone on the live just said, I live in Redcliffe, I'll join you for a walk? I'd love that. So we're walking with purpose this afternoon. We're training for a 30k walk on the 18th of this month. So what'll be the 3rd? So yeah, got a few more days left to train. Get some sand walking in. I have special shoes that I wear for the beach. Not special, they're just old shoes. Because when you're walking on the sand, it does ruin them a bit. All right. So this afternoon I did a bit of organising. I cleaned out my bucket and I've kept a whole lot of sea glass that I've been collecting. I put it in a doggy poo bag. Spaghetti. That's from last week. And I've got a nice collection there. So we've got the bucket. Alright guys, we are going to... I've been taking my water with me in my bucket because I don't think I've been drinking enough water on my walks because I've been talking to you guys. So anyway, let's get to this beach. We are at Margate Beach. This is Margate in Redcliffe. We're going to put our little headphones on. Instead of listening to music, I'm going to talk to you guys. So I'm training for a 30k walk from Phrygian Beach to Mooloolaba Beach this month. And 30k's is a lot in one day, I've got to be honest. I've done it a few times now. And I'm not going to say it's easy. It's hard work. It's like, 6 or 7 hours. And I'm walking with 3 other ladies, so I traditionally walk quite fast. And, well, they're not as fast walking. So it is actually harder to slow down when you walk. So that also puts another element to it. But anyway, I do it because I believe in the cause. The cause we're walking for is mental health. So Coast Track is a company that organise it. They do different events around Australia. So there's Coast Track Margaret River in Perth. They have Coast Track Mornington Peninsula down in Victoria. I'm not sure about in New South Wales. I'm sure they do. So in the major states, they have once a year, they organise this event. It used to be just 30k's and you had to have a minimum 4 people per team. The first year I did it, there was 2 teams of us. So there was 8 of us. And yeah, that was great. There was great momentum. And then the second year, we only had 4. I mean, not everyone wants to walk 30k's. It's a lot. So when we didn't go last year, because most of the ladies that I walked with, they had some injuries. So it was too hard to find other people to walk with. So I was like, right, well, I just won't walk. But I did a 35k walk. There's another race, or not race, but another challenge I do. It's called the Bloody Long Walk. That's its name. And again, that's organised all around Australia. And I did that on the Sunshine Coast, but it's not on sand. It's not just on a normal track, like on the road and like on a boardwalk and stuff. And it's a 35-kilometre walk. So that was good training. I did that for 2 years. Actually, I've done that 3 years. This year, unfortunately, I missed out. I'd paid for it, but we ended up going to Europe, so I missed out. So that's normally my training for the 30k walk in the sand. I mean, I still would train on sand like I'm doing now, but it's good. It's a good indicator on how I'm going to go, because 35k's is, I'm going to be honest, it's hell. And you're walking on bitumen and road, and some of it's up and down. It's quite torturous, and hence why it's called the bloody long walk. So I feel a little bit like, ooh, bit behind the ball because I didn't do that walk. Can't be helped, and no regrets. I was in Paris that day, and I ended up meeting up with a friend from Instagram that I'd been friends with virtually for about three and a half years, and we met up in person in Paris. So that was really lovely. So I have no regrets, because initially I thought, oh well, I'll walk 35k's around Paris on that Sunday, but yeah, no, I didn't. But that's okay. So most afternoons, and this week has been most mornings, I've been on this beach walking. So yeah, I'm actually enjoying it. I do really enjoy sand walking. It's physically draining on the body. Like, it's hard on the legs, it's hard on the knees. I go home and I elevate the legs. Pick up this rubbish, eh? I elevate the legs and I put an ice pack on my knees. And yeah, I mean, you know, walking on sand is not easy. So, I know that I'm going to be a little bit sore, especially after the 30k's. Traditionally, was it 2 times or 3 times I've done it? I'm not sure. I've done it at least 2 times, okay? The 2 times I have done it, I've gone straight home. By the time I get out of the car, I'm so stiff, because it's finished in Noosa the last couple of years. So Noosa's like nearly 2 hours away from where I live. So you can imagine, after walking 30k's in the sand, and then you've got to get back to your car, which is probably another k or 2. So yeah, it's a lot of k's you walk that day. And then I'm sitting in my car driving for 2 hours. I am so stiff. So I beep the horn and Diego comes out and he carries all my stuff inside. He has the bath run for me, so it's nice and warm. And I put myself in a bath and I'm there for the next 2 hours. With a cup of tea, lots of water, electrolytes, and I'm just in a hot bath. And then the next day I feel fine. Let's see what happens this year. Don't know. So today's been quite nice, guys. I mean, there is still a bit of wind. If you caught me on some of the lives I did yesterday, I did a sunrise live. That was pretty cool, actually. I watched the sunrise back, and that was a nice sunrise. And then in the afternoon, I actually went up to my mum's up in Mullaney. So I took you on a bit of a platypus chasing adventure. And it's literally how my adventures are. But I just happened to have my phone in my hand and was videoing it for you live. Because if I had to video it and edit it, you'd probably never see it. So I have actually videoed chasing platypuses and seeing the platypus. I have actually lots of videos of seeing the platypus. So I have seen them lots of times up in Mullaney. I just haven't sat down to edit them, to put them on the line. But that's okay. So that was nice, actually, to do that walk last night, but it was windy. So if you caught me yesterday, it was windy. So today, still a bit windy, but in the sun it's been quite nice. I had a different jacket on today, so it was a little bit cold in the wind. So I decided to go home and quickly change jackets. This is a little bit warmer, this jacket. So this morning I did a live also. I'm live city at the moment. And I just I didn't make the sunrise. I mean, I kind of knew I was going to make it because I was lying in bed scrolling. So I am trying to break some habits, guys, this week, which is as soon as the alarm goes off, get out of bed. But see, the spanner to it is that I've been doing some meditation, and the meditation is on YouTube, which is on my phone, right? So the alarm goes off at 6 a.m. and I'm like, right, get on YouTube. And then I do a 10-minute meditation motivation with Marie. So it's like a free 10-minute meditation. And I think Monday morning I was great at it. But Tuesday morning, I got sidetracked. Like or was it Wednesday morning? Yeah, a couple of my friends were online doing lives. So I was like, oh, they weren't doing live. What are they talking about? And then I was like, oh, wait, no. I mean, you want to support your friends doing a live. But I'm like, wait, no, you're supposed to be doing meditation. That's really important. So anyway, I got off the live and I did my meditation. And then, I went about my morning, doing my routine, and went on the beach. And that's when I saw the sunrise, guys. And it was so beautiful. So beautiful. No, actually, I don't know. What day was it that I saw sunrise? I'm confused now. I don't know. This week's a blur. It's Thursday, isn't it? Oh, I don't know. All I know is I've got one more day of work left. My car's getting done tomorrow. I'm getting some front brakes put on my car, actually. So that's good. My little adventure mobile has to make sure that it's safe. So that will be good. So we've got 4 people on the line listening. Hello, guys. Say hello if you want to, or just listen to the sound of the ocean. And I'll just keep on yabbering about something, because that's what I do. Yabba, yabba, yabba. Hey, so actually, when I was like logging on to do a live, there was a button that said invite. And I thought, I don't know, suddenly maybe I'm allowed to do this, because I just kind of thought that because I haven't got many subscribers, that we aren't able to do like joint lives on the YouTube app. And that's why everyone was on StreamYard, right? Because on StreamYard you can have 2, 3, 4, the whole Brady Bunch on the screen. I think up to 10 on the free version. But I didn't know. Yeah, well, anyway, the story goes that I pressed the button and I went, oh, let's see what happens. So I did it, and it gives you a link, and it says basically, whoever you send this link to, they can jump on your live. I went, oh, cool. So anyway, I thought, okay, well, I wasn't thinking at the time. I was like, okay, well, if someone, if I'm walking around, and there's someone that wants to jump on the live, like, some afternoons I have different people jump on that I know through the YouTube community, that maybe I could send them the link, but like, how do I send them the link on the phone? So, and it did say whoever you send the link to, they can get on the live. So I was thinking, I'll put it in the chat, but then, obviously sometimes you have weirdos on the chat. So you don't want a weirdo jumping on the live and possibly exposing themselves. Actually, that could be funny. So yeah, and then when I went, I thought, let's experiment, hey? Because, that's what I'm doing pretty much here. I'm just kind of experimenting, and I've just found some interesting findings from being doing these lives. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I might even gabber about it after this. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so I press live, and then I'm only on like half the screen. So the other half is then, waiting for your person to invite. So if I went live, I'd be on half the screen, and I'd be showing you whatever I'm showing you, but it would only be half the screen, and the other half would be blank, waiting for someone to you know, for me to invite someone or someone to go in the chat. And yeah, so I didn't decide to do that. I was like, oh, that won't work. Because, yeah. Anyway, I mean, I should have tested it, to be honest. Anyway, that's all right. So, guys, we're just walking up to the end of the beach here, where the Redcliffe Surf Lifesaving Club is. And there's a rock here called, and we call it Ladder Rock. It's a rock that it kind of symbolises the end of the beach to me, and I kick it in a nice way. I don't kick it hard. But it resembles a love heart. So I didn't realise that myself. And one of the people on the chat said, go have a look at it. It looks like a love heart. So when I went back and had a look, it's actually the shape of a love heart. So from this angle, it doesn't look like a love heart. I'll show you what I mean when I get here. But I always stop and look at it now and just go, oh. It's kind of, Mother Nature sending us little messages of love. And I think sometimes if you actually slow down a bit, you do get messages from the universe. And for me, this is a message. Someone that is, is a stranger to me, that I only met through these lives. Look at that. That's a love heart. So that's affectionately called Lavender's Rock. So I kick it, and then we keep on walking. Well, that's a bit blowy, isn't it? Does anyone want to say hello? Or did I do something in the chat that no one can say hello? I'm curious. Because it's actually quite interesting that I've been talking for like 11 minutes and no one's even said hello. Is the chat working? I mean, I'm quite happy to talk to myself anyway. I know there's people listening in the background. Hello. I know my friend Jazz. She sometimes listens in the background while she's working. So if you're there, Jazz, hello. How you going? Hope work's going well. I hear, Europe's in a heat wave, I've heard, because my sister's in France at the moment, and she's like, it's hot as hell. And I have heard some of you guys, and I have heard Jazz. I've been on a live. It's really hot and sweaty. So I'm just curious if it's still hot and sweaty. Kind of a different experience when there's people not putting stuff in the chat. It's kind of like I don't have to read it. I can just yabber on, which I do like to do. So hey guys, I'm Dora, and I like to yabber on. Ooh, it's a bit windy, isn't it? So quite possibly, when I was playing around with the settings, I could have turned off comments. That's quite possible. So if that's the case, oh well, at least I know I can do that. I didn't know you could. So this is why I don't mind this kind of experimental phase that I'm doing right now with YouTube. No, it's interesting when they say when you've got a new channel, because mine isn't like a new channel. I mean, my first video I posted was like, probably about 6 years ago. I posted one video and that was it. And then only in the last year, I've really been actively trying to, promote and, get onto YouTube and make content and stuff like that. I mean, I haven't been very consistent. I'm either feast or famine. At the moment, it's a feast, and you might not think it's a feast. You might be like, oh my God, it's just Dora again. So I have been doing quite a few lives, and you'll note that I haven't actually edited a video. I have a few videos in the pipeline, as per usual. I just haven't finished editing them. Other things have become a priority. So that's why I guess I've been doing these lives. Oh, pardon me. But then I think, well, why would you do a live? Wouldn't you rather get a content out on your holidays? True. But I will also be walking anyway. So, I'm not doing this walk like this, this 30K challenge for content. It's of a purpose. It's for mental health. If you've been following my walks, I talk about my why, and my why is that a girlfriend of mine, Esther, lost her life to mental health, and it's a very sad story. She was Malaysian born. She was married in Malaysia, had 3 children to a Malaysian man. She herself was a Christian. Her husband was Muslim. And I don't know the details, but it wasn't a nice marriage, and there was a lot of abuse, and she has a lot of trauma from that. Anyway, fast forward that she did divorce him, and I know it's very hard to divorce someone of a Muslim faith, especially Malaysia is quite a Muslim country too. So anyway, she did break up with him, and she met an Australian guy on the internet, like you do, and yeah, they fell in love, and she came to Australia. She brought one of her daughters with her, and her 2 sons stayed in Malaysia with her husband or ex-husband. And I'm not a mother, so I don't know the real pain, but I can imagine, like she said that, she was very torn that her 2 sons were in Malaysia with her husband, probably pretty much getting poisoned by her husband, where she had her daughter with her. So that was a lot of torment for herself anyway. Oh, look, the chat does work. Hello, how you going? I'm not in America, mate. I'm in Australia. And I think I did tell you the other day, I used to be in recruitment. I'm not doing it anymore, so I don't have any information for you about jobs. I was just giving you advice. So I think you're in Saudi Arabia, that you're an engineer, that, Australia's always looking for that kind of skills, but you need to apply like everyone else. I don't know any ins for you. So, back to my story. So she came to Australia. Obviously, she was tormented by the fact that her ex-husband had the 2 children, and she had her young daughter with her. And she's trying to, live in a culture that is not hers. And she got married. I actually met her at work. Part of how I afford to travel is I always had part-time jobs. So I had a part-time job at a Thai restaurant. So I'd work full-time through the day and then go straight to work at a Thai restaurant. And I did that pretty much 6 days a week. It was a little bit crazy, but that's right. I loved it. I actually loved it. And one of those people I worked with was Esther. So we became really good friends, and she did, tell me some information. So I did know, there was some mental health, and so she was troubled. And she was getting some help here, but, the damage has been done in her own country. In a lot of Asian countries, mental health is not recognised. So, it's like, get over it kind of thing. And if it's not happening to you, how do you get over something? So, yeah, that was sad. So, yeah, she'd get help, and then she'd be on medication, but she was also self-medicating with alcohol. So that didn't help. So there were times that she'd ring me and she'd be very drunk, I'd pick her up, I'd take her to the beach, and I would just hold her, and she would just cry uncontrollably about, she missed her sons. And look, she might have been having some problems with her husband at the time too. And like, when you add alcohol, and he was also drinking heavily, so it wasn't a very, it was hard. It was really hard. And, I'm not qualified to know what to say or do. All I could do was just be there for her and hug her. But, this went on for, many years. And there were many attempts. I knew this because her husband told me, because, he did fear for her life. So he would share with me what was going on. And I would try to talk to her about it. But I know she didn't want to leave this earth. Like, she loved her daughter. Her daughter was only 17. It's so young, like, that age, you need your mum. So I never thought that she would do it. And unfortunately she did do it. And, her husband had to, he rang me and told me, and I didn't believe it. I was just like, what the hell? And I actually thought she was in hospital, but she was brain dead. And they were hoping that maybe there would be some activity. I thought there'd be activity. I mean, trying to be positive, hey? But, yeah, by the end of the week, there was no activity. They said, look, we have to turn the machines off. So that's when he said to me, he said, look, do you want to come and say goodbye? And I didn't really want to come. I didn't want to see, I don't want to see someone looking at their worst. I want to remember them at their best. And Esther was a beautiful girl. Beautiful. But I went because, her family aren't here. So I thought, you know what? It's not about me. It's about, her family. It's about her. She'll know I'm there. So I went. And it wasn't nice. I held her hand, I gave her a kiss, and it wasn't nice. And I'm tearing up thinking about it because it wasn't nice. So, and then of course the aftermath of that is that, the husband was an absolute mess, as you can imagine. You've just lost your wife. Again, he didn't think that this would ever happen too. Though she had threatened and she had attempted it quite a few times. And sorry if this is triggering anyone, please don't listen. I'm just telling you my why. Because this walk, it's personal. It's for a purpose. It's for my friend Esther. And I keep on saying that if her mental health had been recognised at the start of her trauma in Malaysia, she could have come to Australia in a completely new light and, been so much more happier. And, the outcome of what happened would be so different. Hi, I am. How are you going? Well, thank you for listening. I thought someone would listen, and I just need to get it out. To be honest, it's personal. It's a serious topic that I don't think enough people talk about, and I'm feeling I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to talk about it because I'm not the only one that's gone through this. Many people have lost their friends, family, husbands, wives, and it won't be the first, it won't be the last, and I think if we can, I can't obviously change the ways they are in Asia. I live in Australia, but, if we can, YouTube is a place that, is international now. If, I can just talk to someone that's, they're listening and they think, wow, yeah, you're right, mental health it's not anyone's fault. Some people are born, with with a mental illness, like bipolar or schizophrenia. People don't really know what it means, and they just rather think, oh, well, they're crazy, But, not necessarily. I think we're all crazy, aren't we? I say about myself that, I'm a little crazy. But, I don't have bipolar or schizophrenia or a mental illness of description. Yeah, thanks for saying that. I am she's a beautiful, beautiful soul. There is a video I made. It was called Walking with Purpose. I was in Taiwan, and in Australia there was a walk that I do yearly for people that have lost, have passed away from suicide. And I normally do it in Australia, but I was away at that time, so I thought, you know what, I'll do the walk in Taiwan because that's where I was. And it was a beautiful lake. It was called Sun Moon Lake in Taiwan. If you're interested, it's a beautiful video. I put my heart and soul into it, and there's pictures of Esther, and it got a good result, as in people watched it, and I hope they got something out of it. And I won't ever stop talking about Esther and sharing her story. And the clutch of this is that her family don't tell people the truth and what happened to her. So people in Malaysia, when they say, oh, where's Esther, they go, oh no, she died of a brain aneurysm. So that just is so heartbreaking that even to this day, people are still lying about Esther and her mental health. And rather than say what happened to her, they, said, oh, she had a brain aneurysm. So, yeah. It's very sad. So anyway, that's my why. And the other why is that who's to say that, myself, someone in the chat, could wake up tomorrow with whole new circumstances of life, and that can cause a mental illness. And, and then what happens to them? Like here in Australia, there's a lot of, the awareness of mental health is getting bigger and bigger. It's a big movement. But, it's so hard to get help. One of my school friends, her son is on a list to see a psychiatrist. And not only is a psychiatrist really expensive to see, and the first session, you can get them free from the doctors, but, you've still got to be on a waiting list. And if you're in crisis, you need to see someone now, don't you? Not in 6 months' time. So the crisis is finished, or, you've done something about that crisis, if you know what I mean. So it's very sad. And, it also costs, the first session costs a lot of money. We're talking about $300 or $400. So not everyone has access to that kind of money, or can wait 6 months to see a psychiatrist. So, there's helplines, there's Beyond Blue, that the organisation that I'm walking for. They do different programs to help people with mental health. But Lifeline is one of the biggest organisations I support, because Lifeline have a 24-hour hotline here in Australia. So if anyone ever needed, to chat to someone for any reason, I thought that wasn't nice. They thought, a professional will pick up the phone and they'll talk to them. No waiting lists, a human will be on the other side. And a world that, right now that everything's going to AI. Can you imagine if you need someone to talk to and you pick up the phone and then there's AI saying to you, some robot going, hello, this is Dora. How can I help you? You're suffering mental health. I'm sorry. Please don't do anything bad. Please talk to me. I will listen. Can you imagine? This is the world we're going to. And I'm sorry that I sound very negative here, but my friend shouldn't have died, and there's many people that shouldn't have died. And I know it's too late for them, but it's not too late for us. I guess that's my point. That, who's to say that me personally, that I might not need to ring a 24-hour hotline one day? You know, I lost a father once and I was completely distraught. I've broken up with partners and, you know, it's been hectic. And I had friends around me to support me through that. But if I didn't, I don't know what would have happened. You know, I could have ended up somehow with a mental illness. So anyway, that's all I have to say about that. I mean, obviously I have a lot to say about that. Anyway, let's talk about how beautiful this afternoon is. So, I know, exactly. She does live on, and she lives on, her daughter now is 22 years old, and, you know, she's moved on, she's got a boyfriend, and she's, you know, got a little career happening, and she misses her mum desperately. But, you know, I keep in contact with her as kind of like an auntie figure. And she knows that if she ever needed something, she can give me a call. I mean, I might not be able to completely help her, but I would try. She'll never be forgotten, I am. It is definitely my journey to not let her be forgotten. And yeah. Yeah, are you okay? Days are good days, isn't it? Yeah, I think that can be every day though, isn't it? We should be picking up on people that if they're not okay, you know, ringing them. Are you okay? What's going on? And it's okay to be not okay. You know, it's a saying to say that, you know, I'm not doing good today, and be honest about it. Like, personally myself, I'm one of these people. I'm a Taurus. I don't know if that means anything to you, but Tauruses are generalising here. You know, we do bottle things up. We fake it till we make it, and I kind of say that about many things in my life. You know, I'll fake it till I make it. Like, you know, so you know, no one knows if I'm feeling down or not because I don't put it out there, which is not a good thing. But that's traditionally Taurians. That's what they do, and I am a typical Taurian. You know, my friends were very surprised when I told them that, you know, I was basically breaking up with a boyfriend and I wasn't doing well. For me personally, I had broken up with a boyfriend. I was about to move out of that house that I owned with him. He took the dog. I also was made redundant in the same month. So it was a bit of a double whammy, like, you know, breaking up with someone, having to move and losing your job. And, you know, I couldn't fake that. I had to tell my friends. I tried to not tell my dad about it at the time, but, you know, I had to tell him. So anyway, that's just a little bit about myself. Yeah, okay, I definitely need to look that up. I'm screenshotting that again. I haven't actually even looked at anything about that. I need to do that. I really do. Because, you know, even though, you know, she might not have been my best friend, but, you know, in ways she was. Like, I think you can have many best friends, you know, many good friends. It doesn't have to be a best friend to be emotionally attached and affected, I guess. And I guess you could say that I've been affected. And, you know, I'm happy to be affected. Maybe that's my journey. That's why I'm here, to be the voice. I'm not exactly a wallflower. I'm not exactly shy. Yeah. So anyway, I obviously needed to get that out, and I had a bit of a cry just then. So thanks for jumping on. I had some other one jumping on there, asking about a job or something. I'm just not even going to talk to him. I'm just going to ignore it. I'm just going to talk about my story, about my why, and listen to the ocean while I walk in this sand and practice walking on sand affectionately. So anyway, how was your day, I am? You finished work for the day, I'm guessing? So I'm going to show my vulnerability. That yes, I had been crying. And you know, I'm only human. I think being vulnerable sometimes can be really good for yourself and you know for other people to see too. That you know you are human. You're not a robot. But yeah, I think sometimes you have to be vulnerable and you have to cry. You have to kind of talk about your why and get it out. And sometimes you might have a why, but you know, if you don't talk about it and be passionate about it, I don't know if that's the right word, passionate about my why. Yeah, I think sometimes you got to go deep to really remember and to make action happen. So anyway, I know also you were also mentioned that you know had a bit of a crossroad. How's everything kind of going with that? I mean, it was only the other day, so not a huge lot can happen in a couple of days, but have things been moving into the right direction in that crossroads? Oh, guys, this is absolutely beautiful this afternoon. Well, it's interesting though. I did think that my live was not. I turned my chats off. Yeah, that's interesting. So I haven't really been focusing on picking up sea glass, have I? That's probably more rubbish. It's one of those things that when you tune in, you'll see lots of sea glass. And when you're not tuned in, you won't. Oh, a fair bit here actually, look at that. This I'd say would be rubbish. I'm going to collect it anyway and I'll chuck it away. So it's nearly the weekend, guys. I actually don't have any plans for this weekend, or do I? Do I have plans this weekend? Sometimes I'm just like a lastminute.com kind of thing. I know I want to do a hike this weekend. I haven't actually planned it, so I probably actually think about that. Though I do feel like I got a nice nature buzz yesterday from walking in Mullaney. That was such a nice walk. Honestly, sometimes you just crave that nature. I mean, I know this is nature too, like you can't get much more nature than listening to the sound of the ocean, walking on sand. I mean, I could if I took my shoes off too, hey, barefoot. But then you've also got like houses across the road, so it's not really nature, is it? So, but you know, that's why I guess the bush and, hiking in bushes or rainforests are so appealing because there's no concrete jungle around you. Okay, that is a piece of sea glass. I was actually thinking about going to the sunset this afternoon. So over the other side is where the sun sets. You know what? Why don't I go back and drive there? I'm just feeling like I need to see the sunset to close the day out. I saw the sun rise this morning, not completely rise, as in I didn't see it come up, but I saw it start coming up from home, and then I drove here and then to the beach, and then it was well up. It was beautiful this morning too. So let's finish the day with seeing the sun rise and then going to see the sunset. Yeah, let's do that. See what I mean about me being lastminute.com? But how I look at it is I'm very flexible. No, I'm very spontaneous, you're probably saying. Yeah, that's me. I'm very spontaneous. You can only imagine my partner, Diego, is like, some days he doesn't know if I'm coming or going. I'm like in the door, out the door, literally running in and out the door. Yeah, I'm doing this, blah, 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 blah. Okay, bye. I'm lucky that I have a partner that is quite flexible. Well, I mean, he has to be. If I didn't have a flexible partner, I don't think I'd be with him. So I'm very grateful for that. Because, yeah, I mean, I think you kind of, if you're watching my channel and you're listening to me, I have a lot of passions. I'm definitely not bored in life, put it that way. There's many hobbies that I have. Like this weekend, instead of hiking, I really should. I've got a sewing machine actually. I know this sounds crazy, but it's an adventure. I got given, well not given, but a friend of mine was going back to the UK, and she bought this brand new sewing machine with an embroidery arm. And if you guys, you're like, what the hell? I don't know what that means. Or either did I, okay? I honestly, I don't know either. But I just happened to have a conversation with her one day and said, hey, I would like to know how to sew clothes. So I'm a bit of a doomsday prepper. Like, I believe that it would be good to have skills to, there we go, skills to be able to barter. Like, who knows what's going to happen in this crazy world, right? And I'm not being negative, guys. I'm just saying, like, we don't know. And, there might be a time that it might not be easy to buy clothes online that we do right now. I mean, look, let's face it, pretty much everything's online now. Like, clothes shops are just closing down left, right, centre. So if you want clothes, you actually have to buy them online. So I thought, well, you know what? I should probably learn how to sew clothes, because I had an interest in that when I was at school. And, every girl wants to be a fashion designer, I actually wanted to be a model. I don't know why I thought that, but anyway. But I wanted to be a fashion designer or a model. And in high school, you do like your mandatory sewing class, and I didn't do bad. And one of my friends, when I sewed this dress, she goes, oh, can I have that dress after you finish? Because it's really nice. I don't know what I did with that dress. And hey, maybe she was saying that to be nice, but I actually thought it was a really good dress. So anyway, it's always been in the back of my head that one day I would get a sewing machine and I would learn to sew. And it's an adventure, right? Like, that's what I'm about. Like, all these different adventures. My passions are my adventures, right? Obviously, my passion is to see 80 countries. But, I can't be travelling every month. I wish. But, I like to be home too. Oh, look, guys. Mr. Pelican's on the beach up here. I love seeing Mr. Pelican. So beautiful. This morning I was watching him. I had a complete reflection of him into the water. He was so cool. Look, he's going on the beach. So we're going to go up a bit higher, so we don't want to interrupt him. Anyway, moral of my story is I bought a sewing machine and it's got a warranty on it still. So it's a really good sewing machine. I paid $200 for it. So that's pretty good. And when I got it home, I had bought all the accessories for it, of course. But then I went straight on holidays. And I haven't touched it since. And yeah, you have to practice. I mean, I don't know how to sew. I've got to learn, don't I? So YouTube, here I come. I'll be YouTubing how to sew things. And, I've got patterns. And yeah. But I always want to be able to mend things. Because, like, we're in such a throwaway, lifestyle. Like, our pants, the button comes off it. So we just chuck it away. Because, it's more expensive to go to a seamstress to fix that button. It's just cheaper to get a new pair of pants. So I thought, well, if I can learn how to fix that, I don't have to throw it away. Hello, pelican. So anyway, that's something I could do this weekend. One of the main things I actually have to do this weekend is we are renovating our house. And we are up to the pointy end where it's going to get messy. As in, we've got a 2-story house. It's an old style house. And my partner Diego is renovating it. He's a carpenter builder. Very fortunate there. But we're actually gutting the bottom of the house because the house is getting lifted. It's not legal height underneath. So we've got these decks that Diego's built on them. So when you put decks on a house that's a bit low underneath, it's very dark underneath the house. And also for resale kind of equity kind of stuff, you can't say it's you've got a built-in house underneath. Like, there's no bedrooms underneath because it's not classed as illegal. So anyway, we're going through that step to lift the house, and it's getting moved over a bit more so that we can have more room for a double garage, and the side of the house where it has more sun so we can grow more vegetables on one side, and the side that has no sun, well, it will just be house. So anyway, that is something I have to do. I have to start going through stuff downstairs because we've been in renovation mode for like the last 2 years pretty much. Everything is in boxes, and not boxes, like plastic tubs. So I've been told to keep on going through plastic tubs and getting rid of things and donating things to Salvos. So I have done well. I've been donating a lot of clothes and a lot of things. But a girl can't chuck away everything, okay? And guys are so different. Like, Diego has like his clothes and that's it. His passions are his tools. He builds things. But that's it. Whereas, I've got all these things I'm into, like hiking and, YouTube, I guess, is one of my things at the moment, is learning how to edit and learning how to, do the whole YouTube thing. Learning to sew is another thing that, is a new thing that I'm trying to get into. And then obviously I've got this art thing that I want to make some kind of sea glass arty kind of thing. But outside of that, when I was on holidays, I really got into painting again. When I was younger, I was really good at painting. I wasn't saying really good, but I loved to paint. And then, you get busy with life and you kind of forget about your passions. So I'm trying to get back into my passions because, why would we wait till we're going to retire to start doing our passions? Like when people say, oh, well, I'm going to travel when I retire. But like, let's face it, when you're 67 years old, climbing stairs and doing, walking around, Rome all day, that's going to be hard. I mean, you can do it, and people do it, but it's not the same as when you're younger. So, like, spend your money now, like, enjoy life now and do all the passions you want to do. Don't hold them back. So that's a little bit about me. Like, I'm trying not to do that. I just, want to live for now. Because tomorrow's not guaranteed. Truly is not. And yeah, so growing things for me personally, like I love growing vegetables and fruit. Hey, look, there's the sun. Oh, so the sun will set probably about half an hour. So we're going to go back to my car and then we're going to drive around the point and then we'll see the sun setting over the water. You'll see. You'll see. If you're interested in coming with me, you come with me. So yeah, I spent actually on the weekend. Sunday it was my rest day of not going walking on the beach and not doing any YouTube, and got into the garden. And it's so good to be, playing in dirt. That's something that we used to do as a child a lot, playing in dirt. It's so good for us. Kids these days aren't experiencing that. They're in computers in their rooms and stuff. Whoa. All right, so we're going to get off the beach. And if you want to come with me, you can. But what's going to happen is we're going to get in the car and we're going to drive about 5 minutes to the other side of this beach, the other side of the peninsula, so to speak. I won't turn the live off, I'll just have it still going, but I can't hold my phone because here in Australia, if you get caught with your phone, like holding your phone, you're in big trouble. It costs like it's $1,200 fine, and it's like 6 points or something. So yeah, it's not worth it. Definitely not worth it. So guys, it's not worth me holding the phone so you can see where I'm going. What a beautiful afternoon, guys. So while we're walking, I'm going to get some sand off my shoes. I normally change my shoes over, which I probably will actually. Change them over from my sand shoes to my normal shoes. These, you'll see, have like crap loads of sand, even from that, we didn't walk that far. Maybe about 2 k's, I reckon we did. No, maybe 3.5. But end up with sand everywhere. Okay, we don't need the bucket. Bottle of water. Look at all that sand. Oh, look at the... Oh, it's going to be a nice sunset this afternoon, guys. All right. Other shoes on. Sand in my socks too. But there's worse things in life. It does feel quite fitting to finish my day, right? With all right, guys. If you'd like to join me, you can. If you don't, it doesn't matter. We are going to drive over the other side. I'm going to take that off. No, we can leave it on. It's all right. All right. We'll open the sunroof so you can see the sky. There you go. See the sky. We'll even open up the sunroof for you, hey guys? There you go. Sunroof open for you. Interesting, I just passed the toilet block that I pass on my walks most days. Talk about mental health, right? So I have talked about him a little bit in my chats, on my walks, because there is a homeless guy that is kind of living in front of the toilet block. And it's been bitterly cold the last couple of days. I'm not talking Canada cold, but cold for southeast Queensland. Like, it's been cold. And, you know, he's sleeping there. It'd be freezing. So anyway, last night I was going to bed and I said to my partner, Diego, I said, you know, I feel so worried for this guy. Like, it's so cold outside tonight. It's so windy and he's out there sleeping rough, you know, and I walk past him every day. I feel a little bit like, you know, I know, what can I do? But, you know, I'm sure everyone says, like, what can we do? Anyway, I said that to him and he said, he knows. He goes, I know who he is. Anyway, long story short, through his work, he was told that this guy is actually from quite a wealthy family, and the family know that he's sleeping there. I think he's got some kind of he's got some mental illness, right? Don't know what, it doesn't really matter. But he does have NDIS and he gets money from the government and he's got carers and stuff, but he went off his medication and hence why he's gone a bit AWOL, and he's decided that he wants to sleep at the beach. And he smells like he sits in front of a toilet, but I don't think he's going to the toilet there. I mean, it doesn't smell like poo, but so I don't know if he winged the bed or what, but it smells really bad. And goes to the shop across the road. There's a fish and chip shop. There's two shops. There's a resort, I mean a motel, hotel kind of thing, a call group, Sunnies, and you know many people sit there and have coffees and stuff like that and stare at him just sitting there. So a lot of people come over and say, you know, let me buy your coffee. So apparently all day he gets coffees and food bought for him, but he also gets money from the government. So he goes across the road and he'll just buy what he wants. But if someone's buying him something, you know, he doesn't. So apparently he's been quite looked after quite well, and people have been bringing him lots of, you know, blankets and stuff. And when I just drove past then, that's why I'm talking about him, is there's a lady there talking to him. So maybe she's a support worker or something, just talking to him, maybe trying to, you know, coax him into coming home and taking his medication. So there you go, interesting, hey? There are people around us affected by mental health. You know, some people you wouldn't even know that they had a mental health condition because, you know, they're medicated and, you know, they're getting counselling. So, you know, people can live with mental health, but sometimes it can get worse. So anyway, we've got a hand out the window. I love opening sunroof and just getting some fresh air. It's lovely. So anyway, I cannot wait to see this sunset. I think we've probably got about 10 minutes for the sunset, so we've got good time. We're not rushing. We're not speeding. So we're driving down to, this area is called Clontarf, or Woody Point, should I say. Woody Point, and there's a pub here called the Belvedere Hotel. And it's been there a long time. It's a nice pub. It's just had a big renovation done to it, so it looks really quite flash now. Me on the phone. I'm just curious if you actually hear that. Oh wow. A new hotel, it's just, not a hotel, but like a new big apartment block's just been finished. It looks great. All right, oh my goodness, we are going to be seeing a nice sunset. Now we just have to get a park. That is the next thing. All right, we've got prime position here. Perfect, guys. Perfect. Perfecto. Right, let me show you what we're looking at. Whoops. Oh, that's my head. There we go, guys. So this is Woody Point, and we're about to see the sunset soon, literally, in a couple of minutes. Oops. It's cold. It's cold. It's cold. It's cold. Just do our shoes up because we haven't done them yet. Let me just sit you in between my legs. There you go. Whoops. All right, guys. Let's just appreciate the sunset. I always like to go behind these trees, the pine trees here, and so it's interesting. Sometimes when there's lots of clouds in the sky, it makes for a more dramatic sunset. When that drops and it's not so shining in our eyes, let's see what it looks like. Can you see I can see it, wow. I don't know if you can. Oh. It is cold down here, guys. All right. Because we can, and we will. I had to do that. Just had to do it. So I'll just show you the Belvedere Hotel. So that's the Belvedere Hotel here. It was the pubby section over here, and then there's a restaurant on top and bars on the other side too. It's quite a big place. It's probably one of the biggest pubs in Redcliffe actually. So the whole area that I live is called Redcliffe, but this is Woody Point, this area. So you've got the Woody Point jetty, which is quite lovely. You know what, guys, we're just going to sit. Just going to sit and watch the sunset. Be still. It's quite powerful that I watched the sunrise this morning, and I'm now watching that same sunrise sunset, if that makes any sense. The same sun rising, I'm watching the sunset now. You know what I'm trying to say. So, mate, people on the chat, I hope that you've had a good day. And if your day is just starting, that you're going to have an awesome day. Because today is Thursday, the 3rd of July. It is 5 p.m. And. Oh, hey, Bill. Okay, now I can't actually see what you're writing. Did you say it's 2 a.m.? Just woke up. It's 2 a.m. here. Oh, why have you just woken up, Bill? Toilet break. Anyway, mate, always good to say hello. Hey, mate. Well, anyway, you're catching the end of the sunset. Actually, you saw the sunrise this morning, didn't you? With me here. So you've effectively seen the sunset. Oh, there you go. I'm glad I got to share that with you, Bill. You saw the sunrise in Redcliffe, and then you saw the sunset in Redcliffe, all on the same day. But it's not really the same day for you, because it's a new day for you. Welcome to your future. This is July the 3rd. Bill? It's very beautiful. It's very powerful being able to see the sunset and sunrise. It drops quite fast, doesn't it? Oof, okay. That's it going. Okay, well, we'll stay for a little bit because it's a little bit of a glow. Go back to bed, Bill. And I hope you sleep better now. It's 2 a.m. You got a good couple of 6 hours, 5 hours sleep still, depending on what time you wake up. I'm actually going to sit in my car because it'll be cool, it'll be nice and warm in my car. And I'm going to go look up a meditation by Marie on her YouTube, Meditation Motivation with Marie. And I'm going to do a afternoon meditation. She does 10-minute meditation, like guided meditations, while I look at the glow of the sunset. So that's what I'm looking at. So I'm going to turn you off because I need to look at YouTube. All right, Bill, have a beautiful day on this Thursday morning for you. You go back to sleep. I hope you sleep nicely. And I hope that, you have an awesome day. And if I see you online, I'll say hello. If not, have a good day and I'll catch you another time on live. And I hope that you sort things out with your phone. Okay, mate, bye.